Thanks for having us, man.
Sir.
Yeah, how are you?
Come on in. Good. How are you, man?
Good, dude. Just want to see the place, dude. Golden Gate Recovery.
Mandatory addition to the front room.
Mandatory?
Here's just kind of a common area, serene room.
What do we do here?
Underutilized, if we're being completely honest.
Underutilized.
Underutilized for sure.
Feels like a waiting room.
Sort of waiting room, sort of lobby, calm area. Oftentimes we'll turn the lights off in here. They can come in here. We got a TV here, fully, internet, YouTube, Netflix, whatever they want to do. If they want to chill, relax, take a breath. Oftentimes we got animals walking out here. We're out here in Novato where we got a lot of open space. Sometimes you'll see the occasional fox, coyote, deer.
Nice.
Angry client.
Angry client. You're like, that's the only window. Angry client. What do we got over here?
Yeah. Small group room here.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't let groups go bigger than 10.
Nice.
Pretty
this
standard
feels
group
intimate,
room, man.
I like it.
Pretty standard group room.
Yeah.
I'm not very good. Yeah. I'm not a big decorator. Come on in.
Not a big decorator.
Cut
This
that
looks
part. We
like
can cut the decorating part
a
out.
place I would spend some time in.
We got really lucky with sort of a state-of-the-art kitchen appliances. Before we got this space, this was the kitchen for the entire building.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And when the new owner purchased this building, we happened to get the unit with the kitchen.
The best kitchen.
Was used for the entire building. So we have all the state-of-the-art equipment, 2 dishwashers that frankly aren't needed.
Yeah, okay.
But we use them. Doing some cooking groups in here. It's a life skills-based program, right? So these guys are doing cooking groups, learning how to pack food for themselves.
Yeah,
Phase 1 house is stocked full of food, so if they show up and they don't have food, haven't packed their own lunch. In the real world, if you don't bring lunch, you don't have food to eat.
You don't have lunch.
We don't let them starve, but
don't forget your lunch.
It's a good learning lesson. Common area.
Yeah, okay. This is awesome, dude.
Try to keep it, in a we like it to feel like a place where young guys can come hang out for long periods of time. Certain times of day, we do have a privilege where they can put on something on the TV if it's a lunch hour and they're all behaving.
Yeah.
So to speak. So here's a little group room right here. The other small group room.
Do you guys ever do like 2 groups at like separate groups, or is it like, I know during kind of the round table, there's phase 1 of the program, phase 2, phase 3. Is there like a specific room for certain phases of the program, or?
Yeah, so we try to, the guys who are doing phase 1 programming, it helps with it being cohesive for all of them to program together.
Right.
So we'll have one group going on over here with the phase 1 guys, one group going on here with the phase 2 guys, with obviously 2 separate group facilitators, 2 completely different clinical schedules.
Yeah.
So every week looks different depending on what level of programming that you're in.
Yeah.
These guys are doing most of their, or if not all of their groups with all the same guys until somebody phases up.
Okay. Was this just kind of staff space, just?
When the clients are here 100% of the time, we'll have an operations staff out here that's here to mitigate a potential crisis, help guys with pull a guy out of group if he's got to meet with the doctor, has to meet with a therapist or counselor. Some guys are coming close to their discharge date and they haven't really taken the initiative to get their discharge stuff ready. We'll take them out of group if necessary, just to work on their resume, get a job interview set up, call sober livings, make family phone calls, things like that.
Yeah.
Always good to have an operations staff member out here just kind of keeping their finger on the pulse of the community. So
this is like the common space, right? So everyone's kind of hanging out here if they're not in group. And
correct.
Yeah, kind of like a massive living room.
Correct.
That's cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
With cable, recovery literature, magazines.
Yeah.
And these guys don't have their phones during the day.
Nice.
Which is very much on purpose.
Yeah.
They can use it at lunchtime if they need to.
Gotcha.
But other than that, they come here, they disconnect. They're here, they're present in between groups. They're able to take a breath, calm down a little bit if they need to.
And so what's like the schedule like? Like you get here 9, 10 in the morning. It's kind of like a full day, right?
Yes. Okay. Depending on where they're at in their programming. So the guys who are in day treatment or PHP, they're here 9 to 3. Goes by pretty quickly. And there's a break in there for them to have lunch and like I said, take a breath. Oftentimes they're talking about difficult stuff.
Yeah, group's heavy sometimes.
They're processing stuff. Exactly. They're working on stuff individually.
Yeah.
so it's good for them to have a break in the middle of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, dude.
So we got 5 private offices. Let's just run you through a couple of them right here. We got 3 group rooms and 5 private offices, and then.
Cool. So you'll do kind of like some therapy or counseling if the clients need it, like their weekly session or whatnot takes place in here.
Exactly. So everybody's given their own counselor or therapist when they get here.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're not given a counselor or a therapist based on caseload. Our clinical director will look at who's going to be the appropriate fit for this guy, given his background, his experience, what he's struggling with, how old he is, what his diagnosis is, whatever it is, to determine
the right fit.
A good relationship with the counselor.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Therapeutic alliance, as they call it.
Therapeutic alliance. Let's develop it.
Yes, sir.
So whose office is this?
This is Carrie's office.
Oh, cool.
She's our assistant clinical director.
Awesome.
She would love that we're in here
her
with
office?
the camera.
She didn't know, huh?
No, she actually would love it. Here's her avocado pillow.
Nice.
He's actually a W-2 employee. That's pretty much what he does. He smiles.
Yeah, he smiles.
He smiles.
Good fats, good healthy fats.
Good healthy,
and
great healthy fats.
Alliance.
Put a little salt on him. He's good, man.
You guys have some of my favorite books over there.
So, got some good literature.
Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. We individualize it in a way where these guys can determine what recovery fellowship they identify with.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
We don't really tell them what to do, what decision to make around that. It's a personal decision.
Yeah. But still, you got it if they need it.
Exactly. If you look back here, we got about 20 yoga mats.
Okay. Turn this into a yoga studio real quick.
It's a yoga studio some days. We have a yoga therapist. Is that what they call him? A yoga therapist?
Yoga instructor.
Yoga instructor coming in. Here's another one. Here's Rick's office.
Rick. And then what does Rick do? I met him earlier. What's his role here?
Rick is one of our counselors.
Cool.
He holds an individual caseload.
Yeah.
And he runs groups. He does family sessions, things like that.
He's got the skateboards.
Big recovery guy.
Yeah.
Very, very active in his own recovery.
Yeah, we got the Buddha.
Yeah, he does sort of the Buddhist approach to recovery groups where they kick it off with the meditation, do some mindfulness-based stuff. Here's the main group room, my favorite room.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
We have a good amount of chairs. There's never this many guys in here.
I like all the Starbucks cups.
So our guys drink a lot of coffee. They're just absolutely powering through paper coffee cups.
Yeah.
So, got them reusable cups.
Nice, with their names on it.
Can't drink it in here if it doesn't have a lid on it.
Okay.
Last thing I want to do is come in here and clean up coffee stains, which it happens.
So would you say most groups are ran in here?
Like if there's a time where there's only one group going on, we would run it in here.
Yeah. And then so how many people can be here, like physically? Like what's like I guess what's normally how many people come every day? Not including staff, client-wise.
I would say we either have phase 1. So phase 1's here every day.
Gotcha.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
We usually have either phase 1 and phase 2 or phase 1 and phase 3. So it really shifts. We shifted in a way that it works programmatically for us to have no more than 20 clients here at a time.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, any more than that can get a little crazy, but we also like to keep the group smaller, more intimate.
Yeah.
They seem to be more effective that way. I mean, some might say 10's a lot. I think anything over 10 is definitely a lot.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we have less than 10. That's just what it's maxed out at. If we have less guys, it's less than that. Like right now, it's definitely less than that.
So
that's the gist, man.
No, that's super cool, man. And then I know you guys have a sober living in a house that keeps a lot of the clients, which we plan on kind of checking out too a little bit down the road and kind of see where they're at. You know, I think that'll be cool to kind of be able to see the sober living, like, oh man, this is kind of like the house. There's a couple sober livings. They get driven in here for day treatment. I think that's like the biggest misconception. It's like, what is IOP? And
for sure,
for the roundtable, right? It's like day programming. It's like you're going to treatment for the day. It's almost like a job, and your job is to get sober or at least start working on what that looks like.
And historically, a lot of outpatient programs or day treatment programs, they come from home, wherever they might be living. And the reality is a lot of these guys, they're not, before coming here, they're not really living in a healthy environment.
Right.
which is why we made the conscious decision to offer housing for these guys who are they're programming together and they're also living together. It's a true therapeutic community. It's a treatment community. They're with each other all the time. They're holding each other accountable. And oftentimes they're each other's best counselors. They're each other's best therapists. They'll listen to each other quicker than they'll listen to any of us a lot of the time. Where if a guy's thinking about leaving, I would say 6 out of 10 times it's his peers that are like, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? We can do our part, but it's really them that do that. And then ultimately from there, and they move up in the phases, and it's like, hey man, if you can't make your bed and do your chore and clean the room and you can't be here on time, like we're all gonna lose privileges. We're all in this together. And those things happen, and we have a really good cohesive line of communication between operations and clinical. So if something's going on in one of the houses, the clinical team finds out about it ultimately. It becomes a clinical issue, you know? That's the benefit of having the clinical offering as well.
No, that's awesome, dude. I think what you guys are doing here is super special. The space is beautiful. It feels like, you know, as a man, it feels like a masculine type of place that I could relax and feel safe and comfortable to like recover. I wouldn't be bummed out if I had to like come to this place. I did kind of want to get your input on like the male model. Like, why is it one gender? Is there any specific reasoning for that? And just kind of for the audience, you know, like, what does that look like here?
I mean, I could go on and on as to, I can speak for men because I am a man and I've been to treatment. I'm going to speak to our gender. Men are easily distracted. Men latch on to things that change the way they feel, especially men who are struggling with substance abuse. Men are able to oftentimes get more open and vulnerable and honest in a group setting. When it's all men, there's just a number of reasons why we chose to do it this way. And frankly, for me personally, and again, I have nothing negative to say about co-ed programs, but for me personally, I couldn't see doing it any other way.
More effective.
A large part of that was my own personal experience living in structured housing that saved my life. With a bunch of guys who held me accountable and loved me enough to tell me the truth and push me in the right direction, and that's exactly how we wanted to model it here. The only difference here is we actually also have, you know, a board-certified addiction psychiatrist, a clinical director, a clinical team, operations staff, 3 houses and a center where these guys can come and process stuff. So it's a pretty good setup for guys like me. You know.
No, that's awesome, dude. I mean, I couldn't you know, agree anymore. If I was to compare treatment stories and distractions, mine would probably be very similar to maybe yours or similar to these guys. So I think it's really cool what you guys are doing here, you know. And I guess kind of to close it out, right? Like if someone's watching this and they're considering maybe coming to IOP or coming to Golden Gate Recovery, like what would you say to them?
I would say agreeing to go to treatment and giving yourself that opportunity doesn't need to be some giant long-term decision. It's a very simple, small leap in a certain direction that could turn into something great. The only thing that we really ask is somebody to commit to a certain, maybe 30 days. Our average length of stay is 3 to 9 months generally. That's how long guys choose to stay here. A big issue we run into is guys who are in the upper phase houses don't end up wanting to leave, and we got to make space. So the majority of these guys get here within a week or two. They don't want to leave. So I would just say it's a terrifying, scary decision. If you're watching this and you are one of those guys that's considering treatment, you're probably in the most difficult part of your life or one of them. Come on by for a tour, meet us, talk to us, call me personally. Answer any question that you might have, address any concern that you might have, and within a week or two of getting here, you'll probably have the same experience that the majority of these guys had, which was, I've never felt a community like this. From the staff to the other clients to the greater recovery community, to giving these guys the opportunity to like learn what like building their own personal recovery program looks like outside of a treatment setting. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, hopefully they stop by, dude. And thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for coming, man.
Of course,
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, this is beautiful.